Hello. Hi Siddharth. Am I audible? One second, guys. Wait. I'll just adjust the volume a bit. Okay. Let's see. We'll wait for the chat. Okay. Hello Siddharth. How are you, man? How is your Christmas going? Good. Okay. Seems that today, how many viewers are there? Only one viewer has come. Huh? Okay. Anyone who has come? Okay. Please, one second, guys. Yeah. Mention your names, hi sir, or something, because today's YouTube link was not sent in the form of poster. Okay, so I think not a lot of people are informed that class is there or something. That's it done. It's just one streamer. Okay, Anchal is here. Okay, still I can see that there are 5 viewers, but only two of them are talking. Only two of them are talking. Yeah, that's the thing. Uh, yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's get started, guys. We can't delay much for everyone. So 2 means 2. Okay, there are 5 viewers. Not everyone are talking today. I don't know why. Okay. So, so first of all, good evening, everyone. So in today's hope you guys are doing well. In today's class, we are going to cover a legend named Henry, not Henry, sorry, Harry Pillsbury. Okay. So first of all, let's understand who's Harry Pillsbury. First of all, you can even see his pic. Right nowadays, we started putting, pictures of the players. Right, a little bit slight changes in the background, as you can see. Right. So, okay, so so today we are going to cover a couple of games. Okay, so before we start with the games, let's know who's Harry Pillsbury. Okay, so Harry Nelson Pillsbury. Okay, so he was one of the strongest players of the late 19th century. So, when I say late 19th century, so it's like around the time of 1850s, not 1850s. So between 1870 to 19 like 1900 or something. Okay, so he was during the time of Steinitz and Immanuel Lasker. So if you guys don't know who Steinitz and Immanuel Lasker, uh, you guys can refer my previous what do you say playlists, right? Hi Viransh, how are you? Okay, so okay, now slowly everyone is talking. Okay, so assume that slowly some students will join. Okay, uh, and I think a lot of people have gone out for vacations, right? They are in Goa, most of them, as I know, and some of them have gone for their nationals. So, okay. Anyways, let's see. Low expectancy of chat rate today. Okay. Anyways, as I was telling, I'm so sorry I cut in between. So Pillsbury, Harry Nelson Pillsbury, right? So Steinitz was the first world champion, and Lasker was the second world champion. So during that time, Pillsbury was also one of the contenders to become the world champion. Okay, because if you see, he has equal win rates against both of them. Okay, and he's also like a really good tactical, a very creative tactical and good, slightly good positional player. I'm not saying he's known for positional, but he also has some great tactical instincts. Okay, so the main reason why he couldn't become the world chess champion is because he just died early. So his star couldn't shine much. So he died at the age of 33. Okay, so if he was alive, then I'm pretty sure his name also would have been in one of the world champions list. Okay, so that's about his introduction. So now let's get started with the games, guys. So as you guys know, the first game is going to be like, no, actually both the games are like equally positional and tactical. So usually when I cover the games, right, either the first game will be like complete sacrificing, and the second game will be like, what do you say, a little positional type, right, a more instructive game. Okay, so the first game was played between Pillsbury and George Marco, again a random noob, not a noob, okay, some random guy who's not very popular, okay. And this game is very important because we are going to see an attack called as Pillsbury attack. Yes, so an attack named right after him. Okay, so let's get started. So the game begins with the queen's pawn, so d4, d5, and c4, and everyone knows this is known as the queen's gambit. And this is like the normal way to play against the queen's gambit. You decline it, you play e6, saying that you're not going to get the e4 square. So knight c3, adding more pressure, knight f6, and bishop g5, pinning the knight, adding more pressure to d5. So these are all like common theory, and now a lot of them unpin themselves, and now you push the e pawn once you get the bishop out of the pawn chain, and now black castles, and we develop our knight. Right, this is just how the queen's gambit goes. Okay, now if you guys know, one problem about the queen's gambit is this light squared bishop, right? uh, as you see, this, it's locked behind its pawn, it cannot develop towards the center, right? So the bishop looks at you and asks a question, what about me, how do I develop? So one variation in the queen's gambit is called the Tartakower variation. Okay, so it goes like this: we play b6 and we open the square for the bishop to come here, and the bishop is going to have a good future over here, assuming in this diagonal. It's called as a fianchetto. Okay, and now, okay, white plays bishop d3, of course, developing his bishop. The bishop comes to b7, and now white just liquidates. He just exchanges once, and black takes once, and even though this pawn is covering the bishop's diagonal, okay, this bishop plays a very important role in fighting for the e4 square. So as you guys know, in the queen's gambit, the fight always revolves around this baby over here, the e4 baby, e4 square. Okay, yeah, so the bishop is indirectly supporting it. Okay, and now usually what white does is he castles, right? So he castles and then he puts his rook over here in the semi-open file. But here Pillsbury does a very unusual move. Okay, at least unusual at that era. Okay, not now. Now looking at this move right now, everyone started following this sort of an attack. Okay, so instead of normally castling, he plays the move knight e5. Okay, now this looks like a weird move. Why are you moving the same piece again? Right, as per the opening, what do you say, philosophers or whatever you guys can call them, they said that you need to castle, right? You shouldn't move the same piece twice. So here you will see what's the idea behind moving the knight to e5. Okay, so if I explain it now, I might find it hard for you guys to to get through the point. Okay, so now black usually develops his knight to d7. Okay, not to c6, because when you want to push c5 and play on the queen side a bit, so you need the knight to be here. Okay, and now this is the reason, this is what we were waiting for. Now when the knight comes here, the knight, either we take over here or we ask black if he wants to take. Okay, so now we are going to play a crazy move, f4. Okay, we're going to play the move f4. So it looks kind of stupid again. Why are we moving the f pawns? So all the principles are being violated here. We're not supposed to move the f pawns because that opens up the king, right? Yes, it does. Okay, but the point of this move is, I'll just tell you a short plan. So in the future, he's going to castle, and this rook is going to come here, right? So let's assume that if he takes on e5, then we are going to take with the f pawn, and when the f pawn goes here, this file will get open, right? So we can have a potential rook lift to f3, and the rook might come to h3, all those sort of ideas, okay? It's like playing a stonewall attack or a stonewall defense, whatever you guys can call it. Yeah, stonewall attack type, okay? I don't know if you guys know what it is, okay? So anyways, f4 was played, and black he was not interested to take on e5 because he didn't want any part of the rook open f file, right? He didn't want the rook to come here, so he plays the move c5. Okay, he wanted to contest this pawn, and now black just castles, and this is where black goes wrong. Okay, he plays the move c4. Okay, anyways, before c5, I could say that the right move is to go actually knight e4, and then let's say some exchanges like this happen, queen takes, and now let's say black castles, and black should actually put his knights like this. Okay, so if you know, the move f4 has created a weakness over here on the e4 square. Okay, so this is how black should actually be playing this, okay, taking advantage of the weakened e4 square. Okay, but he doesn't do so. What he does is also logical, playing on c5, and now he castles and he plays c4. Okay, now this is not such a good move. So what black should have done is he should have taken once, and he should have played rook c8. Okay, because this is a little high level concept. Okay, I'm not going to like throw light on it much. The point is, like, when one person is planning to attack on king side, okay, so in this case it's white, then opponent should try to do something in the center. He should like break open the center. So that's just the point over here. So anyways, going back, so this just makes things easier for white. So he plays the move bishop c2. Okay, and now black plays the move a6. Okay, so what's the point behind the move a6 here? The point behind the move a6 is, if white is going to attack on the king side, then black is going to play b5, and he's going to push all his pawns over here, right? So it's a game between king side versus queen side. So whoever gets first wins. Okay, it's like a race. So what does white do? So at this point he gets his queen to f3. Okay, now you see how slowly white just develops an attack. He slowly starts getting his pieces to the king side. Okay, so queen f3, and now black plays the move b5. Okay, this is what the plan is. And now white plays queen h3. Okay, now this is the first point where I'm going to turn to the chat, guys. So it's white to play. Okay, sorry, it's not white to play, but white is having a threat here. Okay, so can you guys spot what is the threat here? Queen h3. So let's see if anyone in the chat can spot what's the threat here. So white to play, guys. So I'll give you guys a moment, couple of moments to think. Okay, I can see that 8 people are there in the chat, but only 3 people have spoken. Okay, if you can give the answer in like full sentence, it would be good. Okay, Siddharth, bishop into f6, I get your point. So bishop into f6, he's going to play knight into f6, right? Bishop into f6, queen into h6, yeah. So your point is correct, Anshul, bishop into f6. Anyways, the move g6 here was played as g6, okay? But let's say black blunders, okay? Let's just make things easier. Now let's see if you guys can find the tactic to win a piece. It's not bishop into f6. So if you play bishop into f6, he won't take with the bishop. He's going to take with the knight, right? If he takes with the bishop, we get the point. It's mate, right? It's mate. Don't forget there's bishop and the queen, guys. Bishop and the queen. They are putting some pressure on h7, right? So not bishop into f6. So let's see if you guys can find the right answer. Come on. You need to put pressure on this knight. Your idea is correct. Okay. So everything is revolving around these pieces. Okay. There's some tactics happening between these pieces, guys. Come on. It's not exactly a sacrifice, Viransh. It's an exchange. So we play knight into d7. Okay, again, first of all, if he takes like this, that means he just blunders the game directly, right? So there's nothing. So you might say, okay, so he just takes with the queen. Actually, if he takes with the queen, wait. I think if he takes with the queen, there is a slight problem. I thought we can do bishop into f6, right? And after bishop into f6, we can do queen into h7. But now I realize something. If we do bishop into f6, he can do queen into h3. Right? So, okay, maybe I missed something. Okay, maybe we can do bishop into h7, I guess. Yeah, bishop into h7. The point is, if he takes with the knight, we see the knight stops guarding the queen. So, we just take the queen. Right? So, and if he doesn't take, then, okay, let's say he goes here, then can you guys find the tactic here? Queen into h7. Okay. Harish C. Okay. May I know who's the student Harish C? Because again, the thing is, whenever a new person joins, they join by their parents' account, right? So I won't really know who the student is. Okay. So anyways, new student, welcome to today's stream. Yeah. Bishop f5. Discovery. Okay, bishop g6 also is a discovery, but there's no mate threat exactly, because after here, there's no mate happening. The knight is covering it, right? So bishop f5 and you win the queen, right? So all this sort of tactics, queen h3 causes a lot of problem, guys. So black was like, you know what, okay. Black is like, okay, I see that there is some tricks happening here, right? Okay, there's some tricks happening here. You know, this bishop and the queen are like very annoying. Let's just block this bishop's diagonal, and you know, once let's just solve this mystery. Now there's no more tactics over here, right? Yeah. So now since the move g6 happens, okay, white finds a really good way to activate this beast now. Okay, so the move g6 allows him to activate this rook. Okay, and how does he do that? He plays the move f5. Boom. Okay, just opening up the file. So if his plan is to take like this, and now this rook is going to enjoy life now, right, on the f file. And if he takes like this, then again this square, this whole file is going to be juicy, right? Yeah, this is going to be a juicy file for us to attack. Okay, so anyways, in the game, g takes f5 is illogical, because if you take like that, then maybe we can even take with the bishop, right? So here black does not have anything going on, right? He does not have any ways to defend. All he can do is push his pawns and pray, I guess, right? So here, instead of moving the knight, we take on g6, and here black does not have time to take on c3. Can anyone throw light why? Who can spot the tactic here? What happens if you take on c3? White to play, and again, it's time to throw in your tactical hats again, guys. Again, it's all on the h7 square, guys. Let's see if you guys can find it. Let's take some time to write the answer, I guess. Shall we just get the camera a little bit up, I guess? Okay. I think I need to get the lights. I'll on the lights a bit so that that's a will. Okay, now it looks kind of bright. Kind of looks better now. The LED lights are kind of good. Okay, anyone with the answer? Knight f7. Why knight f7? Okay, 1 second. Yeah, knight f7. It's actually not bad. Okay, but it's not quite the move. Okay, see, I will give you guys a clue. Yes, yes, it could be a sacrifice because see, if you see queen into h7 is a mate. So just assume like this, Viransh. Queen into h7 is a mate, if not for this knight. So that's a better clue. That's the best clue I can give, I guess. Come on. Just assume this knight is not there, then this is a mate. Okay, so if you put all the clues together, can you find the sacrifice? Bishop g6, Harish. Um, I'm not getting your point. I think there is already a piece on g6. Bishop into f6, knight into f6, rook into f6. Yes, yes. No, pawn g7. What's going to happen? Like, okay, you just shove the pawn over here, and now what do? Like, you're just going to take, I guess. So yes, Siddharth with the answer here, guys. So we play bishop into f6. I told you guys the knight is the one defending mate, right? So what's the solution when someone defends mate? When someone defends mate, you just remove them off the board. That's all. That's all. Just remove the knight off the board. And now queen into h7 is a mate. So you guys need to work on removing the guard tactics, guys. Always it's important to spot pieces that is defending something important, right? So in such a situation you have tactics called as deflection, we have tactics called as removing the guard tactic, I guess, right? So moving back, anyways, bishop b into c3 was not played because our opponent turned out to be good. It turns out that he doesn't want to get checkmated, right? So he plays h into g6, okay, and now white plays the move queen h4, and he puts some crazy amount of pressure on this knight. Now you guys might think, how is this pressure? Like, 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 pieces defending this knight, and we have 2 pieces. We have 3 pieces attacking it, so it sounds equal, right? But this is chess here, okay? Maths and chess is completely 2 different things, guys. So b into c3 happened in the game, and now the first sacrifice of the game, anyways, right? So a lot of people watching over here might wonder, like, one thing I teach my students is a rook is stronger than a knight and a bishop. Okay, rook is stronger than a knight because rook is worth 5 points and the knight is worth 3 points. This is what I teach my student. But turns out that Pillsbury was not my student, so he just played this move, guys. Rook into f6. Oh, okay. Nihal. Hi, Nihal. Okay. Rook into f6 was played here. So he sacrificed his rook. Oh wait, did I just miss the move? Okay, first he took on d7, my bad. So first, before sacrificing first, he took on d7. So making this knight weak. So if he takes like this, now you can take the bishop. Okay, and you're chilling here. You're chilling. So he takes with the queen, and now he sacrifices his rook. Sacrifices his rook, guys. The point is, even if you take like this, it's fine. You're totally fine, I guess. But the point is, I will tell you. Where's the move here? Yeah, rook into f6. The point is, after bishop into f6, we have a mating sequence. This bishop is now, what do you say? It's a stimuli for a mate, guys. Come on, we're going to do a mate on h8, and it's kind of unstoppable, right? So in such a situation, you require the bishop. Okay. So anyways, the sacrifice wasn't accepted because again turns out that black does not. Okay, Nihal, because he played rook. What is this? Because rook played. What is this? He played a rook because a rook is worth less than a knight and a bishop. Okay, yeah. Again, all these values are relative, right? When it comes to the positional value, in such a position, this bishop is really worth more than the rook, right? So anyways, the sacrifice wasn't accepted because again, black does not want to lose the game. So he plays the move a5. First instant I thought like this is a weird move because lot of things are happening over here on the king side, and suddenly boop, you just move a pawn randomly over here, like come on, right? But his idea is to come rook a6. So here It's black to play. And can you guys find another sacrifice white does over here? And this sacrifice is very instructive, okay? Because see, now you have lot of pieces in position, but sometimes what happens is you cannot find the breakthrough. So when you can't find the breakthrough, then you have to break it yourself, right? You just have to go kaboom, that's all, right? Sometimes people just don't shake, so you have to shake it yourself, right? Come on. So let's see if you guys can find a good sacrifice here. Rook d6. Rook d6, I believe he can just take with the bishop, right? See here, we have lot of pieces eyeing towards the king side. So there has to be a particular sacrifice that you need to calculate over here. Or if not, Alfred. Hi Muriel, how are you? Welcome to today's live stream. After a long time anyways, Muriel? Hope you're doing good. Come on guys, think of the sacrifice here. Okay, this sacrifice has to be considered no matter what. Okay, rook g6, yes, you're almost close here. Rook into g6, you need to plan to open up the g file. Okay, because you have all your pieces, dying to mate. Okay, so you need to open up the king. But rook into g6 is not the answer, but you're correct. You're almost correct, Viransh. You're almost there. Rook f7, rook into f7 also kind of does work, I guess. Okay, we will discuss rook f7, but I want someone to give the answer. Bishop b4. B4 is here, I believe, Nihal. Think, guys. I'll give you guys another minute. Okay, as usual, Siddharth with the answer. Bishop into g6. Okay, so wait, actually the sacrifice didn't happen here. So he brings another rook, guys. I kind of missed it. I kind of missed the move order. So rook a6, and now he does it. Bishop into g6. Okay, I kind of missed the move order. Rook f1. So sorry, such an important move order. Getting another piece into the attack. Bishop into g6. So the point is, you open up this sacrifice. The point is, you want to go rook into f8. Okay, so f into g6. Okay, now can you guys find the final winning blow here? Okay, it's technically mate in 7, but if you guys can find the right move here, come on. If anyone can write the full answer in the chat. I'm not asking you guys to write the full mate in 7, like at least 3-4 correct moves. Okay, Viransh, if you do rook g6, no, you might think that this is like a very interesting thing, like rook g6. The rook is covering here, the queen is covering here. Yes. Okay, checkmate. The moment you go to shake your hand for checkmate, suddenly from nowhere a rook comes from the corner of the earth and just breaks your heart, right? So be careful of such things. Okay, be careful, guys. So what's the move here? Come on. At this point, look at checks. Come on. Look at checks, captures, attacks. Okay. You have all the pieces that you want, right? The king is opened up. You have every piece that you want, right? Now it's just time to give the finishing blow, guys. Come on. Where is the kaboom? I want the kaboom quickly, guys. I repeat, rook g6 looks like it wins, but suddenly this rook comes here and takes your rook and then breaks your heart. And trust me, having your heart broken is not fun, guys. Rook into f8. Again, Muriel, if you can give the full answer, it would be good. Again, rook into f8 is pretty much natural. Okay, but if you guys can give the full answer, like, at least 3-4 moves. I don't want one moves, guys. Come on, only noobs give one move answers, right? You guys are strong students, right? Come on. You guys should give the answers like, Hikaru, like, how he says the notation. Rook takes g6, rook takes f6, bishop into f6, something like that. Just tell the answer like a pro. Okay, like how in one of the chat, like someone said the answer, bishop into f6, knight into f6, rook into f6, queen h7, right? So just spit out the answer like that, okay? I'm pretty sure some people, as I speak, are trying to write in the chat because it's not so easy to write fast. Some people are like very good typers, like me, okay? But some are like 7-year-old kids, 8-year-old kids, right? So we have like a lot of students logging, so they might find their time to type it out, right? Okay. Anyways, the answer is rook into f8. Well said, Muriel. And now bishop into f8. So what's the big deal? Okay, again, you just prove that you don't know the value of pieces, right? No, not exactly. You're just exchanging, right? Bishop into f8. And now what's the continuation? How do you attack now? Quickly, guys, come on. Bishop into f8. Okay. Yes, we go rook into f8 again. And after king into f8, we have queen h8 check. And the king has only one move because they have given a check like this. King g6, and now we give another check, right? And the king has like 3 moves. Everything leads to a doom. If he goes here, then this is a doom, kaboom again. And if he goes here, then this is kaboom again. And if he goes here, then we do this boom. And then he goes here, and then we do kaboom. Oh no, now we don't do kaboom actually. We take the queen, okay? Sorry, we don't go bishop f8, we just take the queen here, and then kaboom is following up soon, okay? So the game is going to end soon, and that's how it's going to end, okay? Anyways, after rook into f8, the game just, opponent just resigns over here because he doesn't want to see the kaboom happen, right? So that's how high level players works, they just don't want to play till checkmates. They just want to, okay, they just see that they're lost and then they just resign. So by seeing this, a lot of beginners over here, lot of students over here try to imitate these grandmasters, thinking that if they resign, they'll become grandmasters because grandmaster resigns, so even I can. That is completely, I don't know. I have no words for such a thing. Okay. So, anyways, please don't resign. Always play till checkmate because you are not playing a grandmaster level student. Sorry, grandmaster level caliber person or something. Okay. So that was the first game. Okay, the first game signaled something called as a Pillsbury attack. Okay, this is played at even what do you say? There's also some people who play this like the Stonewall attack. Okay, it goes like this. I used to play this opening a lot. So something like this. It goes like this. So let's say we go like this. It goes like this and like this. Castles, and then we go like this. And there's some crazy attack. So something c5. Let's say nbd7. We castle. So this is the type of a stone. This is usually called the Stonewall attack, but I didn't know it was called the Pillsbury attack before. Okay, so we keep the position closed and we wait for him to take like this, and then what do you say? We enjoy some attacks with the open rook file with an open attack. What do you say? Lifting the rooks. Okay, or we lift the queen somewhere like this. I used to play this sort of attacks a lot of times. Okay, I used to enjoy playing this opening also, the Stonewall attack. So it was devised by this particular person called as Pillsbury. Okay, so ever since Pillsbury did this, everyone I won't say that this is played at almost every games because people know how to neutralize it, but I'm pretty sure if you guys play it at a beginner or intermediate, even at slightly advanced level also, right? It's not so easy to neutralize it. Okay, this sort of attack is not so easy to neutralize. So this was that instructive attacking style. Okay, so without further ado, let's go on to the next match. And the next match, before I turn out to the next match, I want to tell you guys something important because in the next match, what you're going to see is that lot of pieces are going to, there are going to be a lot of piece menus, and certain beginners watching here might, find it very hard to understand because they have learned opening principles. They have learned principles like develop your pieces actively, castle as soon as possible, blah blah blah, whatever, all that. Okay. So the thing is, in this game, a lot of principles get violated, and so I want to show you guys a very important example. Okay, so let's just what do you say? Create a particular position. So let's say like this. Uh, I'm just creating a position so that you guys can like understand. Okay. So anyways, guys, have a look at the center. Like I know you guys might be wondering, this is the first move of the board, right? Yeah. Well, that's not important right now. So I want you guys to pay attention over here. So there are three types of centers. Okay. One is called the open center. Okay. Open center means no. This is okay. Maybe I need to change the board a little bit more. So let's just take these pieces off the board. Let's keep everything like this, something like this. Okay. Yeah. So I want you guys to pay attention over here. Okay. So this four squares. So right now we don't have any pawns over here, right? So when we don't have any pawns in the center, we call it as an open center. Okay. An open center or something like that. And when we have like what do you say? Now let's put some more pawns, something like this, and over here. Okay, now we have one pawn over here. We call this as a semi-open center game or a half-open center game. Okay, so an open center and semi-open center, we need to place our pieces actively. We need to play proper principal chess. We need to castle. We need to get the rooks to the open file. Right, this is what we learned. But in a closed center goes like this. So something like boom. We're gonna have a lot of pawns. Something like maybe like over here. Let's just take this over here. I guess let's keep something. Yeah. So I just made a random position. Okay. Yeah. So here we have like a lot of, okay, the knight can capture the pawn, so let's just play this randomly because a lot of people will be like, sir, knight into e4, knight into e4. So in this position now you notice that there are so many pawns in the center. Okay, so many in the sense there are only 4 squares. Okay, but if you see like the center is filled with pawns, so we call this as a closed center. So in a closed center, right, whatever principles you guys learned, right, baad mein jaye. Okay, that is to be rude. Okay, what I meant to see is like, you can violate all the principles, not all, like most of the principles when the center is closed, and that is what you guys are going to see here. Okay, so I'm just giving you guys a small heads up before I start the game. So now since the game is going to start, so I anyways gave you guys a small heads up. Now let's get back to the game. This game is mostly going to be very positional. Okay, a lot of pieces are going to be manured, and at one stage of the game there is going to be a sacrifice. Okay, so this is how the game is going to be. So this game is between Pillsbury and Lasker, and now Lasker, if you guys know, is the second world chess champion, right? I already covered a class on Lasker, and when I did a class on Lasker, what's funny is I covered a game between Lasker and Pillsbury where Lasker beat Pillsbury, but now it's payback time. Right, since Lasker can beat Pillsbury, even Pillsbury can beat Lasker, so I need to show a game where Pillsbury beats Lasker, right? So let's make it even Stevens, guys, right? So in this game, Pillsbury starts off with the move e4, and Black plays the move e6. So for the ones who don't know what e6, this is called as the French defense. Okay, so a new opening, right? If you guys have not seen it, and now this move says that you're not covering the d4 square. That means you can play the move d4 and have full control over the center, right? And now Black plays the move d5, and now he's saying that now you no more have the center. If you capture over here, then it's a semi-open game, right? And if you push, then it's a closed game, right? Where I push like this, right? This is a closed game. This is a closed center, right? So anyways, that's an advanced pawn, advanced French or whatever you call it. But here in the game, knight c3 was played, okay, and here knight f6 was played, the Steinitz variation, and Black decides to get provoked and he plays the move sorry, not black, white plays the move e5, and now the game is going to be locked. So knight goes to d7, blocking the bishop. Again, the bishop is kind of questioning the knight, but again, we are playing the closed game, right? So the bishop is not going to complain, right? And now f4 was played, again violating another principle of pushing the f pawns, but again, this is a closed position. I'm going to hammer this thing into your head, guys. And now c5 is played, attacking the pawn chain. So this is all theory, and here the most common move is knight f3. So if I look at the chess based database, lot of games go with the move knight f3, but here Pillsbury decides to take, which is not very common, kind of destroys this pawn chain. And now instead of just taking this bishop, Lasker plays the move knight c6. He's like, this pawn is not running away anywhere, right? I can take this pawn anytime I want, so let me just develop some pieces, right? So at this point he should be playing a move like knight f3 or something like bishop d3, but again he plays a move like a3, delaying his development. So his point is like, if you delay taking the pawn anymore, so say let's say some random move like b6, I'm going to play the move not b6, okay, let's say something like a6, I'm going to play the move b4, and now we are never getting this pawn, okay? So that is his main idea. So anyways, black should be taking on c5 with the bishop because he wants to castle, right? But it is said that in the theory, taking like this gives white some good attacking chances with the move queen g4, violating a principle of getting the queen out too early. But again, this is a closed game, right? So queen g4 attacks over here, and if you castle, there's some ideas of bishop d3, and you can have some good attacks like bishop d3, knight f3, and then queen h4, knight g5. So it's kind of annoying to deal with. So he decides to take with the same piece again. Okay, so you're moving the same piece multiple times. Again, chalta hai because it's a closed game. Okay, I'm like a broken record right now. So sorry, guys. But if I do it like this, right, I'm pretty sure you guys will remember this concept for the rest of your lives, right? I might be bugging you right now by saying the same thing again and again, but when I do this, you know, you guys are going to thank me in the future, right? When you have such a closed position, you will have some ideas what to do. Okay, so b4 attacking the knight goes to d7, and now he decides to develop his bishop, and black was like, you know what, I really want to develop my bishop. I don't want to put it over here, I want to put it over here badly. So I want to remove this pawn away at any cost. So he plays the move a5. Okay, so now the point is, if I take, now the bishop comes over here, and if I don't take, guess what, the bishop can still come over here, but at the cost of the knight, right? No. So first we got to save the knight. So knight goes back to c8. It goes back to b8, right from where it began, right? Again, close position, right? It's totally fine here. So white goes knight f3, and black plays knight c5. So the thing is, even though white is like grabbing more spaces, there are some weaknesses like over here and over here. These squares are like weak. Okay, so and black wants to put all his pieces on the queen side, so he's not immediately castling. Okay, so as you see, so he plays the move bishop e3, and now he plays the move nbd7. Okay, buttressing this knight. So if he takes, he wants to take back with his knight. Okay, and now white also makes a little strange move. Again, he doesn't castles. Castling looks natural, but nothing is natural in a closed position. So he plays the move knight e2. Wait, not knight e2. Sorry. He castles first. Okay, he castles, and now white has some attacking ideas like f5. So he plays the move g6. Okay, a lot of people might think g6 is to put the bishop over here, but a bishop over here just does not do much. Okay, it's not so good over here. It's just biting on granite, you can say. So here knight e2 was played. One might think the knight is going to come to d4 and have a very good home on d4, is going to enjoy good center, right? But it's not really the case over here. Here black plays bishop e7, and white can, if you want, he can take the bishop. So let's say knight into d3. One thing I want to make sure, he can take like this and he can exchange, but in a closed position, a very important thing you should know is knights are stronger than bishops. Okay, so in a closed position, point number one, you learned something new. Don't exchange knights for the bishops. Okay, as you will see the value of this knight. Okay, that's going to be a spoiler. Okay, you're going to see the value of this knight. Okay, so anyways, bishop e7 was played, and now white plays queen e1. He wants to get the queen to the queen side. Sorry, this is not the queen side, right? This is the king side. Okay, and now black plays knight b6. So slowly black is getting his pieces to the weakened what do you say, weakened squares in the queen side, right? So since white pushed so many pawns, all these squares had become weak, right? And now queen f2 was played. Whoops, not queen f2, sorry. He plays the move knight ft4. Okay, so he puts this knight over here. I don't know, maybe he wants to put this knight over here and he wants to push f5. Okay, so f5 is one of the attacking ideas, breaking through on the king side, assuming that black castles, which he has not. That's also one way to play. Again, in a closed position is you can play without castling. Okay, you can totally play without castling in a closed position, in a closed center. So bishop d7, just connecting the rooks. I mean, just so that the rook can come here, I guess. And now queen f2, and black is having a threat over here. Can you guys find the threat? Okay, first question to the chat in this game. Can you guys find a threat over here? Black to play. So when the move queen f2 happens, you need to observe something. Let's see how good you guys are in observing things, guys. All I know is I'm not such a good observer. I'm not talking about chess. Even when it comes to life also, like, I don't observe a lot of things. Okay. But ever since I started playing chess, maybe my observation skills and analytical. Oh my god, today my English is down the road, I guess. Analytical skills. Yeah. Analytical skills have kind of improved. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is you need to observe every move and analyze them to a certain extent, to a certain degree. Bishop f4. f4 is here. I don't get your point, Viransh. What do you guys see here? Come on. What's the threat? You need to observe that there is a battery over here. This is a battery, right? This is a battery along this diagonal, right? So if this knight was not there, then we could just grab this knight, right? Bishop into c5 could happen, right? So what's the move here? So let's say some random move like, let's say castling only. We can just play knight into e6. If pawn takes, then we take like this, and after he takes like this, we take like this, and if black is like, knights can go backwards, so guess what, bishops can go forwards, and he can just take this knight, right? He can just capture this backward moving knight. So that is what the threat is. Okay, so queen f2 on the board, and so for that very reason he plays the move knight ba4. Okay, so again the knights are buttressing each other, and now rook b1 happens because he doesn't want the knight to come to b2 and attack a bishop again. That's not pleasant, right? And now white's attacking plan is to go g4, okay, and h5 and open things over here. Okay, he wants to open things over here, and he wants to open this beasts. Okay, the queen and the rook battery. He want to unleash the beasts. Okay, if you want to unleash the beasts, you need to open some things over here. Okay, So Lasker identifies that plan and he plays the move h5. Okay, which is actually not so good. Okay, which is actually not so good because let's say instead of rook a b1 also, like let's say something like g4 happens, and let's say something like queen c7. If you play f5, right, he can take, pawn takes, and guess what? If you're going to attack him over here, black can just castle this side. And he can ask a question like, who's attacking whom again? Excuse me? Right? Because now if you see, right, you unleash this beast over here. Right? And unleashing beasts for your opponents are not cool, guys. So don't unleash your opponent's beasts. Only unleash your beasts, guys. Okay. So maybe h5 was a little too, what do you say, getting scared of ghost moment, I guess. So okay, congratulations, no more g4 happens. So here Pillsbury plays the move b6. Okay, and the point of b6 is he wants to play knight b5, and he wants to go get his pieces to the queen side too. Okay, so he's freeing up some spaces on the queen side. Okay, it's a very high level game. Okay, of course, what do you expect from world champion caliber games, right? I'm trying my best to explain. But anyways, b6, so he just takes over here. Anyways, if you take over here thinking that the queen is defending, we have a reminder that there is knight into e6. The same tactic, right? This battery. If he takes here, then we take here, and again the queen is hanging, right? So if he takes like this, bishop into, we take like this, and black is chilling, right? So black is chilling. So b6, again, these people are good enough to not fall for such tactics, right? So he takes the bishop. Again, I really didn't like this move because, as I told you, knights are the strongest pieces during the close position. Okay, and the point of taking this is Lasker got a bit greedy, and he's like, you know what? I'll just snag this pawn. This pawn is hanging. Why not just take it? Right. And now the kaboom starts. Okay. So our plan was to go g4 f5, right? We need to play g4 f5. Nelson was like, you know what? Do you really need g4? What if I play the move f5 immediately? Right? What if I play the move f5 immediately? So if you count the attacker, if you see the f5 square is like ultra guarded, right? There's like ultimate defense on this f5 square. So like so many pieces that can capture over here, right? The bishop is also like guarding it. Like how can you even think of blowing up the f5 square, right? So anyways, he takes on like this, and now he plays the move knight f4, and now slowly his pieces are coming. And here h4 happens, which is a little strange move, maybe because he wants to grab some space on the king side, I guess. And also some ideas of queen g3. The queen cannot come to the g file if he wants to attack. Okay, if you see this square and this square is kind of blocked, right? So he cannot get his pieces to the king side. Okay, so here white plays rook a1, a cheeky little move. Looks like he's just x-raying the bishop. The bishop moves back, and now where all the kaboom starts. Okay, so can you guys find the kaboom? It's white to play and find the kaboom, guys. It's black to play and first sacrifice of the game. Yes, sacrifice. We don't call it sacrifice, we call it as sack. Okay, we call it as a sack. Can you guys find this first sack of white? And this is like a crazy positional sack, guys. First sacrifice, come on. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people are even looking at queen into h4. If you guys are looking at queen into h4, then I would suggest not to. That's all, guys. N into a3. What is n into a3? a3 is here. Shivansh, where is n into a3? N into d5. Okay, see, you want to play n into d5. Actually, this is a typical sacrifice. But the thing is, there is this bishop. This bishop is also defending it, right? Let's say if this bishop was not over here, don't you think this would have been a really good sacrifice? This would have actually been one of the thematic sacrifices, guys. This would have been a very thematic sacrifice. Knight c6. Okay, nah, I wouldn't give a knight simply. I want to take some piece with me, Viransh. If I'm dying, I want to die with some piece at least. Come on. Knight into c6. Okay, you don't have to write it in block letters. I got your point. c6. c6 is here. Okay. So again, Siddharth with the answer. Rook into a4, guys. So my point was again, I don't want this bishop here. So how do you make the bishop move? You throw a hook. You put a bait. A fish comes and grabs the bait. So that's what we want, guys. So this is the bait, guys. We sacrifice the rook so that the bishop can come and capture our bait. Okay, now you guys might be wondering, sir, but isn't this pawn like ultra guard? I mean, not exactly ultra guarded. Isn't this guarded again? We already sacrificed the rook. Why are we sacrificing a knight? Oops, not the. I sacrificed with another knight. I mean, I sacrificed with the wrong knight, guys. It's knight d into e6. Okay. Now, why am I saying knight d into e6? Because when we have two pieces that can land on the same square, we need to specify the particular file or the particular rank. Okay, so we play knight d into e6, a double exclamatory mark, and after f into e6, knight into e6. So remember when I said that knights are very strong in the closed position? I think this advice was taken a bit too seriously, right? This advice was taken a bit too seriously. So this dude just sacrificed everything for the sake of the knight. Huh? Okay. I mean, I would put a disclaimer before you guys do such a thing. Okay, don't try this at home. I think this is what I should be saying before I, proceed with the games, because all these games go on with some crazy sacks, right? So anyways, n into e6, right? Now you see this knight is attacking the queen. This knight is like right now at the throat of the king, or you could say even at the throne of the king, right? I don't know how many points you would give this knight. In the book value the knight is given 3 points, but I don't think this knight is worth 3 points over here. The knight is even coming to c7. This knight is unlike any beast right now. This knight is the threat. Okay, he is the man here. He is the man right now. Okay, and also if you see these beasts are like dying to just come into the game, right? So we need to activate these beasts too. Okay, these beasts. I don't know how the plural also sounds. And anyways, you might be shocked with the next move, and the next move is also quite instructive. Okay, so Emmanuel Lasker gets so scared of this knight. Okay, I'm not kidding. He gets so scared of this knight that he's like, what, I don't want to deal with this knight. Okay, so he plays the move bishop d7. He's like, you can have my queen, man. You can literally have my queen. Okay, you can literally have my queen. He gets so scared of this knight. Okay, and jokes apart, this is something that we all have to learn from high level players. Because you might come across players who like sacrifice material. They open up your king side. They sacrifice to open up your king, right? The cover, the king's cover, and your king comes under a lot of threat, right? So they know when to give back the material. Okay, so here he saw that the knight was very powerful. So sometimes when you're being attacked, it's good to give back material. Okay. So this is what differentiates high level players and normal novices like us, I guess. So anyways, if black wouldn't have sacrificed his queen, so let's just say like he played something like queen d7, then we play queen takes c6, okay, and there is a threat on g6, okay, queen g6 is made, queen f7 is made, okay, because again see the knight is covering some key squares over here, right? Yeah. So let's say something like queen c6 giving an escaping square. Now we can play bishop g5. Okay. The point is if he takes, then again this is checkmate, right? So all this sort of tactics are there. All this sort of tactics. Bishop g5. So let's say he takes with check. Okay, big whoop. It's a check. Congratulations. Okay. Um, Maybe let's say bishop b4, making some room for the king to escape. Sorry, not bishop b4. Queen b4. Uh, then we can again queen f7, the king goes to d7, so he can take on e7 and say that okay, after queen takes e7, can you guys find the winning move here? Let's see if you guys can find the winning sequence. Okay, how do you continue your attack? Let's see. It's a white to play and continue the attack. Anybody with the first. How do you win the queen? How do you win the queen? Knight c5. Okay, knight c5. Okay, your point is if the king goes to any of these squares, I just capture the queen. But then Siddharth, what if the king goes to d8? Now how do you continue? How do you win the queen now? Who can find it? Okay, it's not in one move. How do you win the queen now? Come on. Let's see. Wear your tactical hats, guys. Come on. Knight e6. Okay, you're almost right. But the thing is, if you go knight e6, it's just that he's going to come back to d7. So that just does not work. Like, you have to, then you have to reset and come back to c5. Like, you want to repeat, huh? Knight into b7. Okay, the knight looks hanging, right? But again, this is called as X-ray defense. The queen is indirectly defending the knight. And now he might think like, okay, we'll go d7. But now we play the move e6. Crazy move. The knight is covering all this square. These two squares are covered by the knight, right? So the king can't go to any of these squares, and he can't capture. And now we are, he has to lose his queen. And it's mate in 6. Okay. So anyways, coming back, Lasker decides to sacrifice the queen, which is the right call. Okay. And if you see now, total, if you count the material, bishop plus, let's say, if anyone with the good math, 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 9, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? And if black has like 3 plus 3, 6, 11, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's 21 to 22. Okay, so technically black is up, 2 pawns, but if you see the queen is quite powerful, okay, so it's gonna be a heavy task. So even the thing is at a high level, right, at a super GM level or a GM level, whatever you guys can call it, this is an actually easy victory, okay, but at an intermediate stage, right, it still requires a lot of work to win this. Okay, so let's just see how this game goes. So something like, so here he plays bishop c5, so he wants to exchange the pieces, okay, and rook c8, then again you're up material, so you need to exchange, right? Bishop takes e7, king takes e7, and now slowly he plays, tries to get his pieces active, like queen e3. The queen wants to come to g5 in the near future, and when I say near future, I mean now. Okay, queen g5, king f7, and now he plays rook c1. Okay, so one of the strategies when you're playing queen versus 2 rooks or something like that, it's always good to exchange one pair of rooks because you don't want the rooks to coordinate, right? As of now, if you see, the rooks are like not coordinated, right? But once the rooks get connected, right, it becomes a little bit of a pain. Okay, so anyways, he takes, queen takes, and now rook c8 attacking our queen. And now if you see, our main goal is to just target the weaknesses. Okay, we see that this pawn is weak, this pawn is weak, all these pawns are weak. Okay, but these two pawns can be well guarded by the move bishop e6. So our main target should be on probably this move. Okay, so can you guys find a move that targets these two pawns in one move? Easy move, guys, come on, within 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Come on, guys, what's the move? Yeah, queen e1, double attack, right? And now, okay, you know what, he's like, you know what, if I'm going to die, let's just damage your pawn structure, let's open your king side and die. So he plays rook g8, and now this is not a big problem, guys. Now this is an end game, right? And in the end game, you guys have learned something from Capablanca's game, right? When I covered the game on Capablanca, we learned how important it is to activate the king, right? So you will see that soon. Queen b4, rook g6, and now king f3. Slowly the king also joins the action. Getting the king centralized is also an a very good important middle game principle. So a3 happens. I don't know why a3 happens. Isn't that just a free pawn? Yeah, a3 is just a free pawn. Yeah, the point is he wants to take on b6. Okay, so here black is like banking on the fact that he wants to exchange all the pawns. So let's say all the pawns get exchanged at one point, then it's going to be a little bit harder. Okay, it's not easy with the queen to just defeat a rook and bishop alone. Okay, also there is a principle that when you're up material, right, you need to preserve pawns, and the person who's down material should try to exchange pawns and go to an end game, not exchange pieces, exchange pawns. Okay, so your queen c5 happens, attacking the loose rook. Well, the reason I call it loose because it's not protected. And rook e6, and again, greedy people here, is it good to take on d5? It's never too late to blunder, guys. It's never too late to blunder. What happens if we take on d5, guys? What happens if we take on d5? Bishop c6, right? And then you cry, right? So you play queen d5 after bishop c6, you cry, right? After such an awesome game, right? If this would have happened, I'm pretty sure this game wouldn't have been alive for to be shown, right? Of course, this didn't happen. We're not playing normal novices here, right? So queen c7 happens. This time attacking the loose bishop, and why do I call it loose? Because again, undefended pieces are bound to be attacked. So king e7, and now again, instead of taking this pawn, he sees that this pawn is under attack, right? So he plays king f4, and now this pawn is under target, so he plays b6, defending it. So here black is now, what do you say, easily, like, he's holding to his credit, he's holding. He knows he's lost, but he's holding. So what do we do now? What's our next plan? How do we win this game? Come on, guys, throw light on the next plan. I always keep asking you guys, what do you say, tactical answers, right? Can you guys give me the positional answer here? What's the next winning motive now? Simple. Yeah, h4, right? We see that we have passes. If these passes were not there, right, then I'm pretty sure the game would have been hard. Okay, queen c5 is also not a bad move to hang your queen, Viransh. Queen c5 is not a bad move to hang your queen and resign. Okay, that's also an option. But okay, we don't want to hang our queen, we'll play h4, okay? Okay, h4. Yeah. On, wake up, guys. So rook c6 happens. Again, hanging your queen is not cool. So what do? We save our queen. So he plays bishop e8, and okay, at this point he just takes. Okay, there is no tactics. Maybe bishop g4 would have been played and taking this pawn. But what else? Like, okay, he attacks this pawn, and yeah, he gives a check. And now he plays queen d8. He saves this pawn. And now he pushes, and now he pushes, and there could be some mating attacks, mating threats. Rook a6, stopping queen e7, and now king d8, attacking this pawn, push and fork. Okay, and after this, Lasker resigns because he knows that whatever move happens, he's going to take here, he's going to take here, he's going to push the pawn, and he's going to win, right? So that was the amazing game. That was the second game, right, between Emmanuel Lasker and Pillsbury. So this was so that was it for today's class. So that was about Pillsbury, one of the legends who could have easily become a world champion, right? But unfortunately, he passed away at an early stage, around the age of 33. So for that very reason, he has a good excuse for not becoming a world champion, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's session, and also more important than enjoyed, you guys learned something, right? That is the main objective, not only to make the class fun and entertaining and interactive. Also, our main objective is so that you guys learn something, like the Pillsbury attack, that concept. You know, one I might even teach you guys in one of my classes too, right? How this attack can be played, right? So, yeah, I think we'll conclude today's session. So, I hope you guys are having a blast, right? Blast of a Christmas, enjoying your holidays, roaming around, right? We didn't even have enough number of chats. I think people joined late. Usually there'll be like around 15 people, but only today 8 people were there. So everyone have gone for their vacations, I guess, right? So last time also a lot of people didn't join because there was exams. Okay, but now exams are done, now vacation, so finding some excuses, huh? Okay, not my loss. So anyways guys, thank you so much for tuning in for today's class. So we will see you guys in the new year's, guys. 2025, we'll come up with a new legend. Okay, so thank you guys. Bye bye. See you. Love you. Tata. So I'm gonna close the session, guys. Have a nice weekend.